Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Jordana Daytona and I'll just be here to guide you through some yoga today. Today's class we're going to focus on staying a little bit more grounded and low to the ground. This might be great if you're relieving any hip pain, lower back, and a little bit between the shoulders. Also great if you are on your menstrual cycle or perhaps your luteal phase. This might be great to relieve any pain, cramps, digestive issues. Yeah, if you're having any digestive issues, this might be a great place to re-regulate, self-regulate, and come back into our heart center. So if you're ready to begin practice, you might have some blocks nearby. You might have a towel or folded up blanket or pillow. Feel free to utilize what you wish throughout class and just leave what doesn't resonate. So if and when you're ready, we're just going to start by laying on our mat, on our back. You might have your feet to the mat, your hands down by your side, maybe palms facing up. Or you might have your legs like straight out. For me, this feels a bit better today. So find what resonates here. Let's take a few cleansing breaths. Let's breathe in through our nose. And let's breathe out through our mouth. One more. See how I made that one a little bit longer? Let's take a really long, deep breath together. In your nose. Out your mouth. Good. I want you to just take a few moments to do a body scan, notice and just observe how you're feeling mentally, physically, and emotionally, perhaps spiritually as well. Notice if you're holding any judgments, expectations, perhaps for this class or yourself, the day, the week, whatever it is. Just take a few moments to observe with no judgment. Breathing in and out through your nose, maybe in and out through your nose and your mouth. When we start to bring a little more audible breath, or we start to hum or feel that sensation on the back of our throat, that's going to help kick in our parasympathetic nervous system response. So we're stepping out flight, or freeze, and we're stepping into self-regulation, we're stepping into vagus nerve response. So if it feels good, you might breathe into your jaws breath here. If you haven't done that, let's do it together. Breathing in through your nose. And then we'll breathe out through our nose, but we hold a constriction in the back of our throat. Almost like you're trying to fog up a window or a mirror. I used to love doing that as a kid on road trips, fogging up the window and like drawing a little picture. So really think of that, bring that energy in here. Perhaps connecting to your inner child, perhaps bringing more peace in your body, more love. On each inhale, I just want you to focus on an intention, a word, a phrase, or a moment that just feels good. I want you to breathe that in. And as we exhale, we just allow this energy to transmute that whatever no longer serves us on each cell in our body. We just let it go. Beautiful. If and when you're ready, let's inhale, reach our hands up above our heads. So reaching tall if you have the space. Reach the fingertips. Good. And as we exhale, let's just leave our hands here. Settle the shoulders down. Create space between the ears and the neck. Good. Inhale, let's reach those hands, reaching. Then exhale, let's bring our hands to our body, placing our hands perhaps on our abdomen. On our next inhale, let's expand our abdomen, ribs, and chest. Let's exhale, soften. Inhale, expand abdomen, ribs, and chest. Exhale, soften. Good. On your next breath, let's just gently take ourselves, tipping ourselves over to one side, and just take a moment here in almost that fetal position, just laying on one side. I want you to just breathe into yourself here and softly pushing yourself up. And let's come all the way into a tabletop position. So in a tabletop position, mindful of my hair here, sorry, we are going to place our shoulders stacked on elbows, stacked on wrist, and hips over knees as best as possible. As always, you can take different variations with your wrists, but I'll mostly just cue fingers forward and just finding space. Pushing into each corner of your hand, push the floor away. Let's arch our spine up and then kind of drop our tailbone down. Chin might tuck down, sorry. As we inhale, let's open our chest, tailbone up, and then almost pull your shoulder blades, your scapula together down the back, engaging in those lat muscles. Chin may look up or chin may stay neutral. Good, and on your next breath, let's arch and round the spine. Good, inhale, pulling that heart open. Exhale, arching and rounding. Inhale, open. Good. We're just going to take a really simple child's pose here. So let's take those knees wide, big toes to touch, and just sit back your sit bones towards the heel. And you might take your hands and make fists and stack your fist, maybe to meet your forehead. Maybe your hands coming all the way down to the mat. Maybe you're just reaching tall or long with the hands and forehead comes to touch the mat. Just finding what variation feels good for you in child's pose. Good. Let's take a few breaths here. And just be mindful of the space as this creates in your lower back. Beautiful. In your nose and out your nose like ocean waves. If that feels good to you. Remember, everything I say is just a suggestion, not a command. You are the greatest teacher of yourself, so let's lean into that. Lean into what our body is speaking and teaching us. Beautiful. If and when you're ready, we're going to come all the way up into that tabletop position here. If you have any blocks nearby, you might bring those forward here. We're going to, from this tabletop position, inhale, let's bring that left leg straight out. You might point those toes down to the ground. Let's find a little bit of balance, feeling that hip flexor activation. Inhale. As we exhale, let's tuck that knee in and almost step it forward. So we're in a low lunge automatically. Finding those blocks if that feels good. I'm going to use the blocks. So what we want to kind of find here, you may tuck those toes on that back foot for extra support or leave as is. And having all your left toes facing forward to start. And then we're noticing we have compression already in that left side body. Good. Let's take a moment. Let's inhale. You might rise up. Hands might place on to that knee, or you might have them on the block still. If you feel okay with this balance, stay here. If you need more support under that right knee, let's roll up the mat, or have a towel underneath that right knee. If you need that extra support, we're going to be here for a little bit, so get comfy. Inhaling the hands, reach up if you have that balance. Inhale, hands up. Exhale, we're going to pull hands, cactus arms. As we open our heart, we pull the scapula together, but we're not like lifting and opening our heart. We're keeping our core active. Good. Inhale, hands reach up. Exhale, draw navel into spine, core activates. Exhale as we pull our shoulder blades, lats engage. Heart open, cactus arms. Inhale, hands reach up. Last one, pulling that heart open, feeling the lats engage. So here you might take a little bit more of a back bend if it feels good. Hands may stay in cactus arms. You might reach back for your hands, interlace them. So we inhale, open and lift up through the heart, or you can do the same in cactus arms. We just find a little bit of a back bend. Then we're going to exhale, folding forward. Hands come to those blocks. We're just going to shift our energy back towards that right knee, toes lifting up, finding a little bit of a half lunge here. Low lunge, or runner's lunge. This isn't even a runner's lunge. I don't even know what this is. Half splits. There we go. Sorry, folks, I had to really think on that. Good, when you're ready, let's pull it forward. This time, what we're gonna do with this left foot, we're gonna take it out to the outside. So we're gonna take a nice wide stance. I'll show you the other angle, I'll flip around. Blocks come on the inside. So what that will look like here is blocks on the inside. Oh, my goodness. Really brace yourself, my friends. Blocks on the inside, and we almost like rotate out onto that left knee. So then we have knees and toes kind of facing this 45-degree angle on that left side. Your hands might stay on these blocks here, or it might feel good to move those blocks and get down onto your hands. And you're like, this might feel good to get a little bit wider. You might adjust your stance. So then you might get into, sorry, I'm switching directions again. You might come into like a low lizard lunge. You might come down onto those blocks, staying on your hands. It's kind of staying in whatever like wide stance variation feels the best for you right now. You might take that like low lizard lunge or rest on the blocks. Beautiful. Usually when I record, there's no one around, but today there are so many people around, so I'm a little thrown off, so sorry. It's still great, still beautiful. It's embracing me to step out of my comfort bubble and just not record and just end it right now. No, let's embrace this. So thank you for sitting here with me. Inhale when you're ready, coming all the way up. And moving nice and slow. We're just going to take our hands, plant them down to the mat, and let's move that left leg back. So finding that nice rotation in the ankle, and let's move into the other side. So that that right knee is going to really enjoy this. So let's take that right leg out, toes pointed down. Good. Inhale, find navel into spine core activation. As we exhale, we step that right foot forward, perhaps grabbing those blocks if you need that support. Good. Hips facing forward. We think midline, so we draw everything into center. Then when you're ready, rising up. So hands may reach up or hands may stay on the hips. Focus on having the hips forward. We're drawing navel into spine, keeping core active. You may feel a lot of hip flexor tension or perhaps stretching. Inhale, hands reach up. As we exhale, cactus arms, 3 cycles. Inhale. Exhale when you're ready. Cactus arms, lats engage. Inhale. Up. Exhale. Cactus arms. Here, my friends, you're either going to stay in a nice hold with those cactus arms, maybe just even having the notion of what does it feel like for my hands to reach towards each other, or finding your hands to interlace. Inhale, lift up with the heart as you exhale. Maybe you're rolling back into a little heart activation, heart opening, or even staying in those cactus arms. Inhale. As we exhale, we're going to find a little bit of that half split variation, not a runner's lunge or whatever I was calling it before. Toes towards nose, toes up to ceiling, whatever works for you. Inhale, exhale, let's come forward into that lunge, and then let's take it wide. So maybe blocks come on the inside. Now we take that right foot, move it as wide as you wish. Inhale, you might sit up and readjust in the hips. As you exhale, you might lower down and find that lizard lunge. Good. Breathing here, maybe holding. You might find pulses might feel better. We're just going to hold our breath. On the last one, I was kind of flipping back and forth and showing you different angle. I think I'm not going to do that on this side. Let's keep it simple. Breathing here, in through your nose and out through your nose if it's starting to get a little dull ache sensations. Yogi friends, at your breath, when you're ready, you might slowly push up and then gently find your way out, reaching that right leg back behind you. Then exhale. Let's move those blocks out to the side. Plant our hands. Let's find a down dog just to stretch out our legs. So tuck the toes, lift the tailbone up, tailbone peak of your body. Spread the fingers wide. Hands are maybe a little bit wider than shoulder width apart, kind of pointing towards the corners of the mat. Tailbone lifts up towards the ceiling. Bend your knees. Let your knees be supporting your abdomen here, so you almost kind of sound yourself together. Inhale, bent knees. As you exhale, just try and straighten your knees as best as you can, and then just start to bend into one knee and the other. So dropping the heel down towards the earth. Walking our dog out. You might wag your tail a little bit. That's okay. Good. Inhale, then exhale. We're going to drop down onto our knees. And then we're going to come all the way onto our sit bones. We're going to take our legs wide. If that feels good to you. You might need to support under the knees if you're finding if your hammies are quite tight. Might feel good to have a block or blanket or pillow under them. If they're not quite straight, or if you're like just holding yourself so tensely, support yourself, my friend. Let's have our toes facing up towards the earth, the sky here. Inhale, let's roll our shoulders up to our ears and down our back. Let's take a moment just to soften into what this pose feels like in our body. Good. Inhale, hands come up towards and above your head. Maybe you're reaching up, maybe you're looking up, maybe even wiggle side to side. What does it feel like to create space in your ribs in this way? Inhale and exhale, let's find a forward fold. You may just fold down to the mat. You might get your head all the way down. You might even grab, if you have that bolster or some pillows, to kind of rest yourself into. We're going to be here for a few breaths. So find what feels good. So as we're in this pose, I'll do a little talking. You just stay breathing here. We start to feel a lot of openness perhaps across the spine, or perhaps you're feeling some dull-like sensations. But what we are doing is opening and breathing into a lot of meridians. So we have what's in our bodies, meridians and channels and pathways for our energy systems. And sometimes when they're blocked, we can, experience feelings and emotions from a simple energetic or physical blockage within our body that we can help move through the physical asana, the practice of yoga, and through the mindfulness practice of yoga, where we can breathe into these pathways. We can mindfully be a healer of our body without needing to always externalize everything. We can, how can I scan into this here, right? So what we're doing here is getting into the bladder and kidney meridians, releasing and a lot of filtering through our lower back, across our spine. Beautiful. If and when you're ready, let's inhale up. So let's move into those meridians that run down the side of our body where we have a lot of compressions. So this is my left side. I'm going to place my left hand onto my leg, or you might place it beside you. Well, inhale, you might drape up your leg. Let's bring that rooting earth energy all the way up our body. So get comfortable here. Let's inhale, come all the way up, then feel your hip crease. Let's feel our ribs, maybe even like getting into palpitating each rib to your axillary armpit. Let's come up all the way through your neck, through your ears, right hand up. And then I just want you to find what feels good. That might be a lot to bring your arm all the way up here. It might feel better in your shoulder to kind of be out laterally, parallel to your body. You might just take a few circles and reach that arm in and up. You might hold and breathe into that space. So I'm just going to hold and breathe where I am. You can look at me for reference if you need. You might even play around with moving your pinky finger in. Or what does it feel like to kind of turn your thumb and your pinky separate ways? We start to hit into these different nerves and nerve pathways within our physical body here. Rotating your wrist perhaps. Inhale, breathing space all through that right side body. As we exhale, we're going to come up so nice and slow because we started to pinch off in that left side body, and we'll create space over here in the right. So plant down that right hand. Then we'll take ourselves. Inhale, breathe that energy up through our left leg, our left hip crease, our left ribs, our left armpit, our left neck, our left ear, our left temporal, and reaching all the way in and up. And then create that space. Perhaps you're moving parallel lateral to the floor. And then creating a little bit of a wave. What does it feel like to create space in your body? And just intuitively breathe and move. There's never a right or wrong way to move your beautiful body, okay? What I do is just the way I'm doing it. So maybe you're finding a hold and then getting into that pinky thumb rotation, maybe rotating the wrists. What does it feel like if I turn my hand this way or this way? What nerves am I getting into? Just notice what that feels like as you breathe into this space. Go ahead and let's exhale. Let's come forward. And so let's take our hands, plant them behind us, and move nice and slow. So bringing your knees up nice and slow. And you might windshield wiper them side to side just to reset that energy there. Beautiful. And we're going to come into a bit of a child's pose, resting pose here. So if you have a bolster, that's great, some pillows, some blankets, something that's going to be, you can see all the dust coming out of mine, nice and firm. And we're going to tuck it in right into our hip. And I have both my knees facing you. I have my prop facing away from me. So what I'm going to do, I'm take both of my hands, if you can, with yourself here. Inhale, you almost kind of twist, kind of square yourself forward. You might need to move the bolster over a little bit. So we want to square yourself and come down. So abdomen, chest. Maybe you take your hands and create a pillow. You may take your gaze and face the other way. So you get into a nice twist. You're not going to feel a whole ton in this pose. It shouldn't feel like super strenuous, super intense. You might have your hands under the prop as well, depending on what you have to use there. This is gonna just feel more supportive. So when I was just referring to those energy pathways, this is where we can start to breathe into them a bit more. You don't have to know exactly where they flow, but I just want you to breathe in the intention of releasing, letting go, and just breathing in peace to your body. This is so funny. There's more and more people really close to where I'm at right now. So I feel like this is a lot of energy of like celebration and just embracing where you're at, right? So if it's feeling discomfort for you, breathe into that space and just know how powerful you are to hold your space. Hold yourself through that discomfort, the unknown. Let's stay here about 2 more breaths. This is a really beautiful version of a supported child's pose. Twist. Great for self-regulation. If that traditional child's pose that we did earlier in class may not feel as good, sometimes this one's nice, but we have to do this 2 times. So placing your hands down when you're ready, then inhale, rising up. And then nice and slow, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to flip my prop over to the other side. Shimmy my hips over. You might windshield wiper. And then bring that prop right close to your hip. And adjust yourself here. So we're going to bring that in. Hands window. Inhale, open. And then exhale, we're going to find that nice fold forward. Again, you might take a chin, forehead, or cheek to the mat. You might turn your head away. You might tuck your knees up towards your chest or have them lower down. This sunset is absolutely stunning. Yogis, let's breathe here. Let's breathe in through our nose and out through our mouth. Breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth. Find a breath that feels good for you here. So without even doing any of the work, I guess I should say, adding onto the meridians, you're already doing work. You know, without mindfully and intentionally doing work, you are the way that you breathe and move with your body, the way that you meditate as you move and breathe here, the way that you're mindful. The way that you just come to the practice as you are. You're moving through these meridians, through these channels. You're clearing up. You're opening space. So if you're feeling pain, you might be breathing pain out of your body. Feeling tension, you might be moving tension out of your body, stress, etc. We just let it go and we breathe in peace. We breathe in love. We breathe in abundance. We breathe in self-acceptance, self-regulation. If and when you're ready, my friends, we plant our palms down and we gently sit ourselves all the way up. Then we're going to take ourselves into a tabletop position. I'm just going to turn so my bum is not facing all these people here. Good. So find a tabletop position. We're going to inhale, breathe into our body. As we exhale, let's settle into this angry kitty. Good. Inhale when you're ready. Let's open our heart, chest open, shoulders come down our back, tailbone up. Breathe. 2 breaths here, just like we did in the other pose. Good. When you're ready, arching your spine, rounding and finding angry kitty. Inhale, open, heart, lower belly. Good. We're going to take one more variation to get into our hips and to allow more space to open with our pelvis, but I'm going to be facing you. I feel it's going to be the best way with kind of the shadow that I might be looking like right now with the lighting. So from this tabletop position, we're going to come right into that low lunge again. I hope I'm not too close to you. So for that low lunge, let's have the blocks, if you have, on the inside, or placing your hands down. We're going to take that leg, right leg, again to the outside. Then we're going to turn it out about a 45-degree angle. If it feels calling to you, see if you can sit up or stand up in this low lunge. Notice this little left knee. Please support that knee joint. And you almost want to stay kind of flexed and engaged, if you will. A lot going on. So let's point those right toes out. Hands come to the hips. So notice how we have this big open space now within our pelvis and the hip flexors. Let's inhale and exhale, soften. Good. So we're going to do kind of just like how we did that cat-cow movement, that arching and rounding in our spine. We're going to do the same thing here. So you might inhale, kind of open the belly, open the heart, arch in the back, and then exhale, arching and rounding. So it's almost more dramatized. And I'll turn to the side so you can see. So we inhale, open, exhale, close. So then you can start to move into that leg a bit more. I'm just going to turn to the side so you can see what that looks like. So right leg out, inhale, opening, and as we exhale, close in. That may feel good to use your hands to physically like open that energy of your heart and then close in. So we inhale, open, pelvic bowl, floor kind of drops in. As you exhale, you engage in. Inhale, open. Notice what this feels like in the groins. Exhale. Good. If and when you're ready, let's take it down into that tabletop. Let's reset. You might cat-cow, wiggle that pelvis out. Then we'll do the same thing on the other side. Step that left foot out onto that angle. Use the blocks if you need to. Finding that nice wide stance. So same thing. Let's settle into what feels good. And then we'll inhale, open the heart, arch. Exhale, again tilting, drawing in through that abdomen. Inhale, open, exhale. Good. Taking a few more here. Just a lot of reshifting within those ligaments and those muscles that hold everything in together. Those TI muscles, hip abductors. Good. When you're ready, let's take our hands down to the mat, our knees. Let's find that cat-cow, perhaps even that down dog. Walk it out. Let's drop down onto those knees and come in. Actually, yeah, let's finish it. Let's find our final Savasana. So you might take a child's pose for your final Shavasana. You might come on your back. Just like we did in the beginning of class, you might put some props under your knees. You might move your legs to the wall, put legs up the wall. You might bring the soles of your feet to touch for a butterfly pose. Supta Baddha Konasana. You might lay on your abdomen for child's pose if you're needing a little bit more self-regulation as well. I like to believe that there's no right or wrong pose for Final Shavasana as long as it feels comfortable and safe within your body. It's going to look and feel different for all of us. You might want your heart open, your groins open, whatever it is. You may want nothing open. You may want to cover up with a blanket. That's perfectly okay. Wherever you are, in your Final Savasana, you're just breathing into the space. Savasana, as I've been taught, is one of the hardest poses to master, as it's complete stillness in body and in mind. So as long as we can start to breathe and just be mindful, hey, what's going on with my body right now? Where can I soften 10%? What's going on in my mind? Where can I focus or refocus that attention 10%? So it can all be here, body, mind, and soul. What does it feel like to just meet yourself here? To know that you're complete and you're whole as you are. To know that all of the hard work is done. You can just settle, you can just relax. Just breathe. If your mind wanders, just come back to your beautiful breath. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in love. Breathing out love. Stay here as long as you can. As long as you will. Thank you for allowing me to be part of your yoga journey. Thank you for being a part of mine. The light and love inside of me sees and honors the same within you. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Peace, Peace, Peace. Go in peace today, my friends. Move with love, move with intention. Thank you for being here with me.